Stress comes in many forms these days, and you can't avoid stress for too long. The body has a natural defense mechanism that keeps us protected from stress. It's always running in the background. You probably aren't even aware of it. It's a complicated chemical process, multi-organ involvement. But when the mind or the body becomes overstressed, that's when the healing process gets kicked up a few notches. Sometimes it's so intense that the body is always in the healing mode, and that turns into a new problem. So how can you help yourself heal better from stress? My name is Dr. Tom Naro, creator of My PT, and it's my mission to lead others to better health through movement and wholeness. To help me do that today is my friend, Dr. Stacey Munro. Hi, Dr. Munro. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Thanks for joining me today. So before we get started with a conversation about how stress affects the body, I'd like to give our listeners a little background about you. So Dr. Munro is a naturopath doctor. She owns her own naturopath practice, and this is located in Suffield, Connecticut. It's called Nature's Helper Medical Clinic. She practices a holistic medicine approach and includes nutrition. Now, she told me that when learning about naturopathic medicine back in college, it was just like a mind-blowing experience, and it drew her into what she considers now working her dream job. Now, we actually had a good opportunity to get to know each other when we had a meeting, and we took that meeting on a walk on the Southwick Rail Trail along with your dog, Winnie. So I learned that Dr. Munro is not only friendly, but she's down to earth and very knowledgeable about health. So I'm interested to learn more, and I think our listeners may be ready for a few questions. How about you?
Sounds good.
Great. So first question, what do you tell your patients about how the body heals itself, and how does a natural approach to caring for the body align with its needs?
So every person is an individual, and every patient you're going to address their individual needs. But in naturopathic, in our naturopathic training, we learned about sort of basic tenets that you can approach all people and all conditions with. And that's in terms of how to stimulate healing and how to start the process of healing. So the ideas are that you always want to open the organs of elimination. So that means make sure that the body's not holding on to toxins, that people are eliminating regularly, that they are not taking in too many toxins also in terms of their diet and other chemicals they put in their body. You want to give the body what it needs. So that means proper nutrition, the right amount of sleep, regular exercise, and then stimulate the vital force. So the vital force is similar to what they call qi in Chinese medicine. It's the same idea. It's basically that healing force that's we're born with, that is in all of us. And the idea is that all those things need to work together in order for the body to heal itself, because the body does have an innate healing ability, which is called the vis medicatrix naturae, the healing power of nature. This has been known since Hippocrates. Hippocrates talked about this, that the body has an innate healing ability. We just need to support the body's healing ability.
Very cool. Great. Thank you. So tell us a little bit more. What happens inside the body when we're under stress, and how does it affect quality of life?
So stress is not a bad thing. Stress is something natural that we all experience and that we all have the ability to adapt to. So really the problem happens when there is chronic stress, chronic prolonged stress, or acute stress on top of chronic stress. So the example I think of is the person who's already working too much, not sleeping enough, maybe not eating the best diet, and they're kind of hanging on, and then they have a baby, or then they're, someone in their family gets really sick, or then they, have another, severe stress that comes along. It could be something like that, or it could be just as simple as you're living your life and you're not getting enough quality rest and you're not eating right. And over time that can wear you down. So essentially stress adaptation is natural, and we can adapt to a certain amount of stress when we are taking care of ourselves. But when we're not, that can turn into stress exhaustion, which in naturopathic medicine we call adrenal fatigue. So the adrenal glands are very much tied into this. The adrenal glands produce cortisol, which is our main stress hormone. High levels of cortisol, when it's prolonged due to prolonged stress, creates sickness in the body. It creates, it can raise blood pressure. It can increase your risk of stroke. It increases your risk of diabetes and high blood sugar. It also creates, feelings of anxiety, depression, and fatigue. Stress is very damaging to the body over time. So the best way to overcome that is to start dialing back, how much stress you have in your life, and then start taking better care of yourself. And of course, natural treatments will help that as well. Those things will, in naturopathic medicine, we treat the adrenal glands very often, and that being our main stress hormone producer is sort of at the seat of any kind of treatment for stress.
Gotcha. Okay, so you really have your eye on that adrenal function. Great. So we've talked a little bit about diets, and I know that you're into nutrition. You educate clients on the Mediterranean diet sometimes, and the keto diet at other times. So you brought up this one thing, and I'm curious, what's the difference between a diet and an eating plan?
So a diet, I think of as a short-term plan that is only used to get you from point A to point B. You could be looking at a food allergy elimination diet, or a detox diet, or a weight loss diet. And there's a goal in mind with all of those things. And it's usually for a prescribed amount of time. An eating plan, and this is, I have a lot of patients that come in for weight loss and for healthy lifestyle change. And I really try to avoid using the word diet for what I consider a lifestyle change. So for me, I call that an eating plan, because it's a plan for your life. It's a lifestyle change. And in fact, I just had a patient respond back to me today. He said, "Thank you so much for the information." And we talked about the Mediterranean diet, but it's more like the Mediterranean live it. I liked that. Diet instead of live it. I thought that was cool. So, patients get it. They respond. A lot of people don't like it when you're talking about a diet because they've been on yo-yo diets. So what I try to do is approach things from a health perspective, and what you can get out of it long term in terms of maintaining a healthier lifestyle.
Fantastic. Dr. Munro, thank you so much for your time today, sharing your knowledge and experience. But before we end the recording, would you like to take a moment to tell the listeners a little bit more about your practice?
So I see patients for all types of conditions, anybody, including adults and children. Naturopaths are especially good at giving alternatives for chronic issues. So, not that we can't treat acute issues when they come up, but anybody that's experiencing chronic problems such as digestive problems, fatigue, stress, hormone imbalance, cardiovascular issues, those are all things that a naturopath can help with and give natural alternatives for.
Excellent. Well, thank you once again. This was a privilege having you on today. I look forward to next time we get together.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, Tom.
You as well.